Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now, quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has celebrated Nigeria's election into Category C of the International Maritime Organization Council for the 2026-27 term, describing it as a renewed global endorsement of the nation's maritime relevance after 14 years outside the council. Tinubu praised the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, NAMASA, and Nigeria's diplomats for their strategic work during the General Assembly in London, saying the victory reflects confidence in Nigeria's commitment to safety, security, and rule-based maritime operations. The president said the mandate aligns with his plan to expand blue economy infrastructure, strengthen anti-piracy efforts, and deepen Nigeria's role as a regional shipping hub, while assuring member states that the country will deliver on expectations. Former Nigerian President and Chairman of the West African Elders Forum, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, says no coup occurred in Guinea-Bissau despite widespread reports of a military takeover. Jonathan made the clarification after returning to Nigeria following days of unrest in Bissau that triggered global concern. Our correspondent Obong Osoro reports.
Tensions had gripped the West African sub-region after a heavy gunfire erupted around key government institutions in Guinea-Bissau, sparking fears of another military takeover. Several international observers, including former President Goodluck Jonathan, were in the country at the time and had to be evacuated as uncertainty deepened. But speaking after his arrival in Abuja, Jonathan said the incident was not a classical military coup, insisting that President Umaru Embalo remained fully in charge of state affairs. Jonathan described the situation as an internal power struggle within the security architecture rather than an attempt to overthrow the democratic governance.
Basically, what happened in Guinea-Bissau is quite disturbing to me, who believes in democracy. In fact, I feel more pained than the day I called Buhari to congratulate him when I lost the election as a sitting president. Because I've been quite particular about Guinea-Bissau. As a sitting president, then, Guinea-Bissau was in crisis.
Jonathan explained that the circumstances surrounding the events in Bissau were strange and unlike any coup he had observed in the past. He also urged ECOWAS and the African Union to continue to monitor developments closely to prevent instability from spreading across the region.
And what is happening is like we are going back to those dark days of Guinea-Bissau, where the military can do whatever they think they can do. It's totally not acceptable.
Jonathan reaffirmed the commitment of regional leaders to protecting democracy, strengthening electoral systems, and preventing the resurgence of military rule in West Africa. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has confirmed that he's honored an invitation by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over allegations he described as fabricated, saying he would keep Nigerians updated in the interest of transparency. Malami revealed that the engagement with investigators was completed and that he had been released on an understanding that he would return on a scheduled date for further questioning. The commission has not yet disclosed the full scope of its inquiry. Through Malami says he is confident that the truth will emerge as the investigation progresses. In a statement of honor, tradition, and military pride, the Nigerian Army has formally rolled out 8 retired generals, celebrating decades of leadership and service that helped shape the nation's engineering coup. Global Television News correspondent Felicity Indere reports from Makadi.
At the headquarters of the Nigeria Army School of Military Engineering in Makudi, a rare and symbolic ceremony unfolded, the rolling out of senior officers who have completed long, distinguished military careers. For the Army Corps of Engineers, it is more than a farewell. It is a reminder to serving personnel to stay alert, remain combat ready, and uphold the discipline required to confront Nigerians' evolving security threats. The 8 Sapa generals honored each served the nation for more than 3 decades. Their sign-off is a tribute to commitment, resilience, and a lifetime of military excellence. The revealing officer, Major General Philip Oromosele, speaking on behalf of the retirees, reflected on the training and discipline they received at the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering, noting that these values shaped their careers and sustained their dedication to duty.
We feel highly fulfilled, grateful to God, and grateful to the Service Chief, Chief of Defense Staff, and the President for the opportunity to serve Nigerian Army in this capacity. So we urge our colleagues to remain in service, to remain loyal to the constitutional authority, dedicated, committed towards addressing the myriad of security challenges that confront the nation today.
Representing the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Personnel Management, Major General Adewale Adekeye, urged the retired generals to continue to see the Army as home and to offer their wealth of experience in strengthening professionalism within the ranks.
I am here to particularly congratulate the 8 retiring SAPA officers for a meritorious service and to wish them the very best in the next phase of their life.
The ceremony reached its emotional peak with a symbolic roaring out, a tradition marking the end of an era and celebrating the legacy of officers whose service has left an imprint on the Nigeria Army Corps of Engineers. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Homeschooling has emerged as a growing alternative for parents seeking more control over their children's learning experience. With digital resources expanding and online platforms becoming more accessible, families are embracing flexible, personalized models that differ sharply from the mainstream school system. Our correspondent Nafisa Baba takes a closer look on homeschooling in Nigeria. The report.
In recent years, homeschooling has become an increasingly popular option for families seeking an alternative to traditional public or private schools. With the rise of digital learning platforms, online resources, and changing attitude towards education, more and more parents are taking control of their children's learning. In this special report, we will explore the world of homeschooling, its benefits and challenges, and what it means for the future of education.
Because of the current situation of Nigeria now, insecurity and all that, I would say every parent should have a teacher for their child.
Homeschooling offers several benefits, including personalized learning and attention, flexibility in scheduling and pacing, ability to tailor education to individual learning styles, reduce peer pressure and social conflict, increase family time and bonding.
For a country where their infrastructure is highly developed, where you will not have issues when it comes to network issues, there is nothing wrong with online. But like in Nigeria, where we're still developing, I think it's better for children to have physical classes rather than online.
While home training can be a great option for some families, it also presents several challenges and concerns, including lack of socialization and social skills development, limited access to resources and facilities, potential biases in curriculum and teaching, increased responsibility and burden on parents.
If you look at the international community and look at the Nigerian system, the welfare of teachers has never been considered. And this is the motivational variables that every individual needs to look forward to.
As technology continues to evolve and improve, it's likely that homeschooling will become an even more viable and attractive option for many families. With the rise of online digital platforms, virtual reality, and other digital tools, homeschooling is becoming increasingly sophisticated and effective. Nafisa Baba, Global Television News.
In a nation where digital technology is expanding at record speed, another industry is growing in the shadows. Online scams, from fake investment schemes to romance fraud, the numbers keep rising, and so do the victims. Global TV correspondent Sadia Yakubu tells us more.
Across Nigeria, certain cities have become hotspots for internet fraud. The tools, laptops, VPNs, foreign numbers, and carefully crafted online personals. Most scammers operate in small groups. They target foreign victims using romance scams, phishing, or fake e-commerce stores. But now, more Nigerians themselves are being scammed, especially through fake investment and crypto schemes shared on social media.
A whole lot of our youths are unemployed and unemployable. You know, they are two different things, but though related. And so by the time there is so much economic pressure on them, you know, to try to meet their basic needs, you know, societal needs and all that, and the resources is not there, they are not earning much. There is this tendency for them to be pressured into going into scam.
From social engineering to fake online love to fraudulent loan app that steal contact and harass users, digital scam operations are becoming more sophisticated and more aggressive.
Some of my colleagues where I know were not working, we graduated almost 3 to 4 years back, serve, and they are still here, you know, no job. You know, when you see somebody or a friend that is into this kind of business, no, you don't need to influence you.
For some young people, online scams have become a shortcut to wealth. Social media glamorizes soft life and flashy lifestyle that fraudsters often display. But behind every stolen dollar is a victim.
If government can do something by provide a conducive environment, especially job for the young people, I think the rate of this crime will be reduced.
Experts warn that the rise of cybercrime damages Nigerians' reputation internationally, reduces investors' confidence, and puts honest digital entrepreneurs at a disadvantage. In order to stop or reduce online scams, the following must be organized: digital literacy classes, cyber safety seminars, government policy meetings, among others. If you receive messages that sound too good to be true, they probably are. Verify every online transaction, protect your personal information, and report suspicious activities to the authorities. Nigeria's digital future is bright, but only if we fight the dark corners of cyberspace together. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News.
You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, President Tinubu approves committee on new tax laws. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a National Tax Policy Implementation Committee to coordinate the rollout of Nigeria's new tax reforms, appointing veteran accountant Joseph Tagbe as chairman and Sayade Okoli as secretary. Supervised by the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, the committee includes Ismail Ahmed and Rekia El-Rufai and is mandated to consult widely across the public and private sectors. The president said the reforms are central to boosting revenue and strengthening public finance management, while the minister emphasized that the committee will help reset the fiscal framework and curb leakages for sustainable development. Nigeria has taken a major step towards becoming home to one of Africa's most significant financial institutions for the energy sector. The federal government says all requirements for the takeoff of the African Energy Bank have now been fully met, positioning the country at the center of the continent's next phase of oil and gas investment. Kikelomo Okere reports.
Nigeria's drive to anchor Africa's energy future is entering its final lap. Months after winning the bid to host the headquarters of Africa Energy Bank, the country says the facility is now complete, fully furnished and ready for operations. During an inspection in Abuja, the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Enikin Lukobiri, confirmed that Nigeria has delivered on every obligations required of host nations. It says the $5 billion bank was created to close long-standing funding gap in Africa oil and gas sector, gaps that Apple says have left the continent heavily dependent on external financing, restricted technology access, and limited market control.
Apple and African Bank are the drivers of this process, to facilitate the takeoff, of the bank. But what Nigerians, and the world need to know today is that as a host country, we have met all our obligations, and the building is ready. The bank is ready to go.
With Nigerian readiness now confirmed, the continent moves closer to a new financial institution designed to reshape how African funds develop and benefit from its energy wealth. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Nigeria's quest to build a stronger homegrown innovation and technology ecosystem received a major boost as the Tertiary Education Trust Fund unveiled breakthroughs developed through its flagship research and incubation programs. The report.
At the closing of the demo day held at the Innovate Technology Hub in Abuja, TED Fund Executive Secretary Sonny Echonu reaffirmed the fund's commitment to driving research, innovation, and commercialization across Nigeria tertiary institutions. He explained that the program are structured to move ideas from concept to real-world solutions, targeting key sectors including agriculture, ICT, energy, health, security, and the circular economy.
And these programs are designed to equip our lecturers to reignite the creative, the research spirit in them.
Echonu highlighted some of the prototypes on display, including a smart power management device, an automated plastic recycling system, and a self-propelled seed planting machine. Innovations, he says, reflect the ingenuity emerging from Nigerian campuses. He also commended the partnership with Innovate Technology Hub and acknowledged the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, for sustaining national support for research-driven development. Speaking on the quality and durability of the inventions, Deputy General Manager of Innovate, Dr. Deji Ige, stressed the importance of sustainability, rigorous testing, and long-term market readiness.
With 90-95% local content, unless those things that cannot be seen around here, which I doubt, a good number of them.
Similarly, Head of Programs and Ventures at Innovate Hub, Tolulokpe Aino, said TED Fund's investment continues to empower innovations with tools and mentorship needed to scale their solutions.
TED Fund has, over the years, continued to show immense support and contribution to developing innovators like yourself.
With these emerging prototypes and the renewed push for commercialization, TED Fund says Nigeria is not just preparing for the future, it is building it.
This is a simple technology that replaces the manual method.
And therefore, we came up with a sustainable, user-friendly machine that is designed to eliminate manual milking drudgery, reduce contamination.
Behind me are inventions made by inventors right here in Nigeria. All the products, all materials are gotten right here in Nigeria. Now, TED Fund, in collaboration with Innovate, has brought together a wide array of inventors to showcase made in Nigerian products aimed at driving sustainable development. Jumai.
And on the foreign scene, Rwandan President Paul Kagame has accused Congolese authorities of delaying the signing of peace agreement ratified by both countries' foreign ministers in late June in Washington, aimed at ending the bloody conflict in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The region has endured 3 decades of armed conflicts costing hundreds of thousands of lives. Over to Uyi Agbomofuegbe for the rest of the story.
Violence intensified in January this year when the Rwanda-backed M23 armed group captured swathes of territory, including the cities of Goma and Bukavu. In June, the DR Congo reached a peace agreement with Rwanda, brokered by Washington, and the following month signed a declaration of principles with the M23 in Doha for what had been regarded as a permanent ceasefire. However, the conflict has continued, with both sides blaming each other for continued violence.
I mean, the amount of hypocrisy and even double standards and real insensitivity of some of these powers that we know who are associated with the cause of these problems, or who accompany the crisis in a way they have chosen, and in the end they are the ones making so much noise.
The DRC's presidential office has said the peace deal could be signed in Washington on December 4 between Kagame and his Congolese counterpart, Felix Tshisekedi, although nothing has been confirmed. Uyi Agbumofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
Pope Leo XIV has reiterated his call for the world to unite in search for the greater unity and harmony. The Pope spoke on the plane before landing in Turkey during the first overseas trip of his papacy. Again, Uyi Agbumofwegbe completes the report.
The trip, which includes a second leg to Lebanon, begins in the Turkish capital, Ankara. Pope Leo began a 4-day visit to Turkey on Thursday, urging the Turkish government to embrace its role as a mediator in a world gripped by conflict after talks with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
In both Turkey and in Lebanon, we hope to also announce, transmit, and proclaim how important peace is throughout the world, and to invite all people to come together, to search for greater unity, greater harmony.
Given the first address, President Erdogan insisted Turkey is a country that would not allow a single one of its people to be subjected to discrimination, hailing the Pope's stance on the Palestinian cause and called for justice for the Palestinian people. Uyi Agbumofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
In sports news now, Bayelsa and Kaduna states have been officially selected to host the 2028 and 2030 National Sports Festivals following resolutions reached at the National Council on Sports meeting in Calabar, where delegates reviewed reforms under the theme Business of Sports, creating jobs, wealth and utility under the renewed Hope agenda. The council cited the substantial sports investments of Governors Doye Diri and Ubasani, commending President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's broader sports development agenda and the redesignation of the National Sports Commission. It also directed states to provide variable insurance for athletes at national events and approve the construction of international standard swimming pools for successive festival hosts, beginning with Enugu for the 2026 Coal City Games. Still on sports, former Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum has questioned the National Football Federation over the alleged failure to properly utilize the $960,000 FIFA disbursed in the 2022 World Cup preparations, accusing the federation of providing inadequate training camps, poor travel logistics, and an understaffed technical crew. In a viral video, Waldrum cited poorly arranged international friendlies, including the Japan trip, where key players arrived hours before kickoff, while insisting Nigeria traveled with barely half the technical personnel FIFA permits, despite available support funds. Although records show the Super Falcons engaged in multiple pre-World Cup activities in the US, Japan, Mexico, Turkey, and Australia, the NFF is yet to officially respond to the renewed allegations. Nigeria's sports sector is set for another phase of major reforms as the National Sports Commission opens the technical session of the Second National Council on Sports in Calabar, and a crucial step towards reshaping policy direction under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. Anete Patrick has details.
Declaring the session open,
Director General of the Commission, Bukola Olokpade, described the technical meeting as the heartbeat of sports development in Nigeria, the platform where decisions on infrastructure renewal, athlete development, governance reforms, and private sector participation are designed. He reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to the Renewed Hope Agenda for Sports framework, which focuses on commercialization, improved athlete welfare, and long-term structural reforms across all tiers of the sports ecosystem.
You can imagine my excitement when the technical session agreed that we have a scourge in our sports in age cheating. And when the debate started, everybody agreed that there must be a draconian approach in the punishment for those coaches, those stakeholders who encourage their wards to lie about their age, to fabricate birth certificates, to change their NIN. I don't believe that's happening, but I've been told in this debate that is happening. And that everybody came together to agree on that, all the directors of sports. Even when they were accused that this comes from directors of sports, they all agreed that it has to stop.
In her welcome remarks, Cross River State Commissioner for Sports Development, Agnes Atsu, highlighted the state's growing sports profile from the Abokim Green Marathon and Women's League Championship to the revived Governor's Cup, stressing Governor Bassey Otu's commitment to sports as a driver of youth empowerment and economic expansion. A major highlight of the session was a presentation on risk management and sports insurance, urging the adoption of comprehensive protection policies for athletes, competitions, and operational activities across the country. With the technical session now underway, stakeholders say the outcome of the Calabar meeting could set the tone for a more structured, competitive, and professionally managed sports industry in Nigeria. Anie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
And that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.